All right, here we go. What's going on? So I just got this new computer. This is the first time I've actually done a video or a stream. So just let me know if you have any feedback on the audio or the just the quality of it or whatever. Because I'm just my OBS right now is bare bones. So I want to just go through and kind of just talk about what's going on, guys. This is a public stream, but what we're doing here is I'm actually showing some of the stuff that I've worked on today. We're basically porting the game over, and okay, cool. So for anybody that's not part of the beta team, you're probably gonna um just tag along. But hey, thanks, Black Mamba. But this is for anybody. So whoever wants to chime in, they're more than welcome to chime in. But the beta guys kind of know what's going on here. So I'll just pretend like you guys all know as well. But I'll talk about it also. But I got a couple things I want to do. So we made some changes to. Let me just rewind. So as I said, right now we're updating the game to go to the consoles, right? I mean, obviously it's that time of year where things are getting a little slow right now. Hey, thanks, Parker. How much of the updates are making it to the console port? I mean, I think mostly everything. But this is not going to be a video about the consoles. We're in the middle of working on it, and there should be some news soon. Just don't have a date for you guys yet. But this here is more about changes that we made today that we're going to be testing, and it has to do with the QB AI, because basically while I'm sitting here and working on the port, I finally have a chance to make a couple changes to the game. So I added a couple things based on feedback from the beta team. Basically QB AI decision making is one of the things that I added, and that's what I kind of want to look at right now. Let me go ahead and open up the scripts here. You guys can't see it, but I'm looking at the code behind the game, and that way I can kind of tell you exactly what's going on here. So did you guys just see that Xbox thing pop up? I don't think you guys saw that. All right, so here's the deal. And what I could do is I could jump in the game. Let me actually go to practice mode, and then kind of walk you through it. So, depending on the player, you're going to have some different outcomes. Okay, cool. You didn't see that? Then that's just coming through. My Xbox account's tied to my son uses my Xbox account, and he's on Xbox, so it just comes through that way. One thing I want to do real quick, you guys are going to lose the screen, so just hang tight for a second. I want to make a change. I want the I'm sorry. I'm all over the place here. I want the game to choose passes every time, because what we're going to be going through right now is the changes with the QB AI, and I'm going to walk you guys through that. Like I said, basically we're not getting enough sacks in the game, right? And the thing is, there are different reasons why, and one of which, the main reason that I think is happening, and talking to the beta team, we're all kind of figuring out what we think is going on. But basically, what's happening here is we think. So the QB, what happens is the QB, when they hike the ball and they start dropping back, as soon as they get pressure, what they typically will do, like 99% of the time, is they'll throw the ball away, or they'll, I wish it was on Game Pass. They'll throw the ball away, or they'll throw a desperate throw to a random receiver, or they will check it down to like your halfback or fullback, right? That's the way the game plays right now in the public live version that you guys who are not in the beta have. What's going on, Maryland? So the reason why there's no sacks, or a very limited number of sacks, is because every single time a defender comes close to the QB, they move away, and when they get close enough where they're about to sack them, they'll do one of those three things. They'll throw it away randomly, they'll throw it out of bounds without penalty, or they'll check it down to a running back. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to jump on to, I'll just pick a random team here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you the worst case scenario, which is what I was testing earlier. So I'll leave it like this, and then you guys are going to be able to see firsthand what's going on, and I'm going to talk you guys through it here. So let's just look at the top. Let's look at the top left here. You guys should be able to see the screen here. Should be live. Yeah. All right, so the top left area right here, each player has a timer on when they're going to run the ball, or when they're going to decide to do something, whether it be run the ball or throw the ball away to a desperate throw to a random player, or like I said, they're going to throw it away, or they'll check it down, right? Stats are coming through. All right. So like this area right here, you guys will be able to see that. And there's also an allow sack. So there's a very, very small percentage chance that the computer's just going to allow you to get a sack. Like the QB is just going to have this one time where this is going to happen, which I don't know if I'll leave that in the game or not, but I'd like to hear feedback from the beta guys, which, I was hoping that I kind of made a mistake. I did the stream public versus private, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. But you guys on the beta team, you can leave it either here, or you can leave the feedback on the Discord. So I know I'm not going through this very clearly. So I'm going to try to just sum it all up here. All right. So before the play happens, before you even go to the line of scrimmage, okay, you get the quarterbacks get a timer, okay? And that timer is being set by a formula that takes into account your IQ, your skill, and how fast you are. Okay, so if you're a really fast QB, that run timer will be shorter, right? If you have a very high IQ and your high skill, it'll be longer. It'll give you more time to throw the ball. So what happens is before the play even gets to the line of scrimmage, you get this throw run wait timer here, which right now it's at 79 seconds, which is pretty fast. And the reason why it's fast is because this guy's skills are 79, which is okay. His speed is super fast, so it kind of wants him to lean towards running the ball more than throwing the ball when the opportunity hits, right? So I'm not going to be able to keep up with the chat that well, like I said, because I'm trying to explain this, and I was just going to have the beta team in here, but it got set to public, so whatever. So he's not very skilled. His IQ's horrible. So because his IQ's horrible, it'll be an even shorter throw run wait timer, right? So what it does is it adds the skill plus the IQ, and then it subtracts the speed in a rough explanation that determines your run timer. Okay, and that's the number here, and then 79 at top. And then when that run timer hits, you're either going to make that choice of, am I going to throw it away to a random receiver? And that's where your greed comes into play. So if you're a greedy QB, he'll probably try to just do a random pass. Yeah, Parker, allow sack is set to 0 because, like I said, you basically have a very, very small chance of getting the allow sack to hit. It is like I would say like a 1% chance. And I can take that away, or I might keep it. Right now we're just testing. I don't know if I'm going to keep that yet. So what happens is when it's trying to calculate your timer, it's saying how skilled are you, how smart are you, how fast are you? And the faster you are, the lower the timer. If you're really fast, like an 85 or above, that timer might get split into like 25% worth. It might be like a really fast run where you hike the ball and the QB is going to run it within like an instant, like a Michael Vick. Like he'll just take the ball, hike it, and run. Or like a Josh Allen. They're designed run plays, right? So, anyways, so that's kind of the idea behind the run timer. So that's that number up here, the wait time. And every QB is going to have a different one. And like I said, this QB, because he is not very smart, he's got a 2 for intelligence. His skills are 79, and his speed is really fast. You know, this guy's going to have a low time. It's going to be 79 because of all that. So you're going to see here, he got the ball off within 60 seconds, so nothing happened. Another thing that you're going to want to see is, that's the next part, Michael. So that's the run time. That's the throw run wait timer if you're not getting any pressure. But if you are getting pressure, like in this case, if let's just say the defensive line broke through there and you were getting pressure right here, then another part of the code gets kicked off that'll say, okay, I'm about to get sacked. And if you're about to get sacked, the same thing happens. Are you fast or not? If you're fast, you might try to get away more often. So you're going to try to run it, which we're trying to tweak because running it also gives you, it'll get you sacked sometimes, right? So, but if you're fast, you might be able to get away. So faster QBs will run the ball more often when they're getting pressured. But then if you don't go down the running channel and you choose to not run when you're getting pressured, then you have the same 3 things that happen. You can either throw the ball away desperately, and that's based on IQ. I'm sorry, that's based on greed. My apologies. That's greed. So if you throw it away desperately, randomly to any receiver, no matter what the coverage is, that's a wild pass, and it throws it away, and that's based off greed. Or you can, if you're smart like Tom Brady, you're gonna check it down. You have a higher percentage of checking it down, and then you might also throw it away. Now, let's talk about the throwaway real quick. So the way it works is your outside tackles here, these guys out here. This line, I don't have anything to write down here, but this line right here, I guess I can use this. the line going this way all the way to the line going here. So the edges are right here, basically. The edges of your line, if you're within that boundary here, we're making some changes to that too. So what happens is the AI cannot throw the ball away, like out of bounds, because that's intentional grounding, right? But in this game, we don't have the actual rule. What we're going to do though is if the QB is within this area and they go down to, they're not going to run, and they don't do a desperate throw, and they don't check down, and they fall into the throw it away category. If they're within here, then they're going to run the ball. Once they get outside of the line, inside the pocket, right? Once they get outside of the line or the pocket, then they have the ability to throw the ball or do something else, right? So that's another thing we added to the game in the beta. And so, but if you're controlling the core, I know I'm telling you guys a lot here, so hopefully this is making sense. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask. But if you're controlling the actual QB, then what happens is if you're inside the pocket, holding the left trigger to throw it away, now what it will do, if you're inside the pocket, it'll throw to a random receiver, and it'll have inaccuracy on it. So it's a penalty that you're going to get that you think you're going to throw it away, but you're really going to throw it to a random receiver with an accuracy penalty. But if you're outside the pocket and you do LT, then you can throw it away. So that's kind of like the balance between a human and a CPU player. So what I want to show you now is I have debugging things set up on this to basically tell me what's happening. So if the QB is under pressure, it's going to tell me what they chose to do here. Let's see what happens. All right, so that time the timer was under. It was 78 seconds. His timer was 79. His timer 79 again. So if it goes over the timer, which it didn't do it there again, he threw it before it got there. That I don't know. I mean, like, okay, so right there is a good example. But you see allow sack was set to true. So that was one of those times where I'm saying you're going to get sacked no matter what. And that's a behind the scenes thing based on your skill. I'm surprised it came up because I really don't see it that often. It's like once in a blue moon. But I want to do some testing on it. And you guys tell me if you guys think we should have it or not. On the fumble comment, I might need to dumb that down a little bit. Because right now the fumble rate's a little bit high. Or you get penalized for running the ball with your QB. But if with these changes, the QBs will run the ball more often. So that's going to be like the downside of it, right? This is morale modified skill. This is the real-time skill in the game. See, that time, it's funny because he's throwing it right at 78 seconds, which is interesting. It's like right before his timer runs out. It's kind of funny. But remember, this is an extreme case of a quarterback who's really fast, but he's dumb. And his skill is average, it's like below average to average. And then playing against a defense that is super, super fast and super strong. Like right there, he did it again. I don't know how the hell he's doing it at 78, like on the dot every time. That's interesting. I haven't seen that. All right, so there's another time again where that was the first time I think we saw allow sack wasn't turned on. Yeah, you see, it is skill-based, Klep, but it's not really a real-time thing. It's based off of your skill. I guess you could put it that way. And I can tweak that. I can make it lower. I can remove it. The idea here is to get more sacks in the game, but get them in there the right way, right? Now, in this case, what we saw in this replay here, he was getting pressured right here. Okay, right there he was getting pressured, and I don't know what his timer was. I didn't catch it, but I'm assuming he got pressured because, or the timer could have hit. One of the two. I don't really know actually because I'm not tracking that part. But he chose to run the ball. Now he's choosing to run the ball because he's fast. But see, the problem is when you're getting that much heat on you like that, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit. There's also, and I'll show you guys in a little bit, but there's also a part where if you're a really fast QB, you might get, and you might see it here, you might get a chance where you're just going to hike the ball and run it, you know, before you even get pressure. And there's no timer. The timer is really low at that point. See right there, he did it again. He got put under pressure and he ran the ball. Yeah, it's hard. There's going to need to be something there. See, he's running it again. So this guy's getting killed every time because he wants to run the ball. He's getting pressured. So, like I said, this is just really for us to tweak the settings. And I know you guys watching are probably like, whoa, those are way too many sacks. And you see it there. I'm kind of surprised, though, because that he's running that often, because he really should only be running about 20 to 40% of the time, somewhere in that range. When he gets under pressure. It's I guess it depends on if their time is up or not and if they're being. See, like that time, the timer did go to 0, or it did expire, and he wanted to throw the ball or run the ball again, right? So the timer expired and he wanted to run again. So I don't know why he's not running to the right there and running right at the guy. I don't like that. What is my opinion of the AI being able to supply code? That's funny. Let's see your game, man. Put a link in there. Well, I guess here's the thing. So the timer is one of those things where I've been tweaking. That's what I did earlier. I've been tweaking the values because, like I said, this is the worst case scenario pretty much. Like, this is a pretty bad case where this guy wants to make a decision pretty early. And the fact that he's really fast is making him want to run more than I would like. So actually, I'm going to try to tweak that now because they're still running way too fast. So if the time is up, if the timer is up, then let's do this. I'm going to make him run less if the timer's up. Yeah, right now, so I'm just looking at the code, guys. Hang in there. QB times up, then he's going to run based on his speed. So there's a 20% chance they're going to run based on their speed. So the highest they can get is a 20% chance. But if the timer's up, then I want them to, I guess that's the question. What do we want to happen? Do we want the timer, like, I guess my thought was, the worse the player, or the faster the faster the player, the shorter we want the time to happen, because they're not going to have the luxury of being smart in the pocket and waiting around and looking for the right receiver, right? I know it's kind of the opposite in the real world, because basically in the real world, you want a guy to go through his progressions fast. The faster, the better, right? But in here, I'm thinking the shorter they have to go through their progressions, like the shorter amount of time to get through that process, which is the timer we're talking about. To me, that means that you're not going to get a good pass off. You're either going to throw a desperate throw, or you're going to throw a bad throw, or you're going to check it down if you're smart. So the timer, to me, the lower the skill, the lower the IQ, the faster the player. I'm on OBS for streaming. The faster the player, the lower the timer, because I want them to do something different, right? And that's kind of what I'm playing with. And we can up the timer, speed. We can change that around if we want to. But what's happening right now is this guy is getting a short timer because he's pretty fast and he's not very smart. And he's not very skilled, right? So his timer is coming through pretty low. Okay. I think it's coming through at his skill level, because that's where I clamp it to. I don't let it go any lower than their skill level. But so it's coming through. If the timer's up, I'm just trying to think out loud here. If this timer's up, how often do we want him to run? Right? If he's a fast player, I was expecting him to run pretty fast, pretty often. I actually only have it at 20% max if the timer's up. So let's see. But I want him to kind of run more often if the timer's up. Right? I'm going to do like 40% if the timer's up. Based on your speed. That's like the max you can get is 40%. And if the timer's not up, then I want it to be like, how about we do like, maybe like 10%. Oh, that's why it's doing it. That's why it was doing it here. It was doing it because I have something else set here. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't think I need this anymore. I'm taking this out. Another thing I want to do is, let me do echo. Let me do run timer. All right, I'm going to try this. If it's just based on the timer without pressure, I think you could drop the run chance down a bit for sacks. For sacks, it's specifically due to how they act under pressure. Do you guys think we need this allow sack thing to be there? I'm thinking we don't. So for right now, I'm going to set it to false, to 0. I don't think we need that. There are definitely more sacks than I thought happening. Yeah. Gunder, if you're here, I just read your Discord message. We're gonna need to tweak, and I might do that right now actually. we're going to need to tweak the fumble. If you're a QB, I'm going to split it in half. So I'm going to make a change there too. Yeah, the screen's just black because I could put something here so you guys could see. Hold on a second. Let me put some text. All right. That way, when I'm not doing this, you guys will see something. All right. Where am I at here? So yeah, just hit me up with comments if you guys have anything you want to talk about or, mention. But we're going to be doing the same practice. And we'll do Vegas because that was a good, to me, that was a good test candidate because I felt like it was a great defense against a pretty bad QB who's not smart and is fast, which is what we want to see here. So let's see what happens now. All right, so whenever they get it off, you see, here's what I actually want to do. And sorry, I'm gonna pause it again. Here's what I want to do. I want to make them. This is what I was doing earlier today. I want to make it to where this always becomes. Man, I'm having a hard time. I'm tired. I'm changing the code to where they always have a situation where there's nobody. Like we're gonna make it to where there's nobody open, right? A AAA stream there, yeah. I'll probably delete this stream when I'm done, anyways. No, injured players in the field being hurt, that's the thing. That's not going anywhere. All right, let's see. So what I did now is I changed it to where I'm simulating nobody being open, which means the timer's always going to hit or they're going to get under pressure, right? So right now we're simulating what's this guy going to do when the timer runs out or he gets pressured. So the timer ran out there and it said he threw the ball away. Hold on a second. Throw a ball away. Let me see where that came from. All right. Oh, throw ball away. Let me see. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. I got to do this again. I forgot to pull off one of these things. So I think what happened there was a desperate throw. That was a situation where the guy threw a desperate throw. So his timer went out, which it goes out pretty fast. And that's one thing that I'm a little bit kind of iffy on because, like I said before, in the NFL or anywhere you're playing football for that matter, a really good QB has a long timer, right? Like they can sit in the pocket for days. They can maneuver around the pocket. They can run around and make time, right? Create opportunities, create time, right? So, in this case, it's kind of the opposite, which I'm not really loving that, but I think to me, it makes sense, which is weird, right? Yeah. And remember, the game before this update, before this update, the quarterback would almost always, I'm talking about like 99.9% of the time, they would always throw the ball away in some fashion. Throw it out of bounds, throw it to a receiver, check it down. They would always do that. Always. That's why we weren't getting any sacks, right? Now, we want them to run more, but not so much where they're getting sacked every other play, right? So let's see what happens here. All right, so that time he did a desperate throw. He's probably going to do a lot of desperate throws. And the reason why is because, let's see. It's saying it's a desperate throw means he's greedy. So is this guy greedy? I mean, his greed's at 59. So it will check to see if they're greedy first, and if he's greedy enough, it will do a desperate throw. All right, so what the hell happened there? That was a really, really, really weird play. That was another desperate throw, but that happened really fast. Oh. You see, this is the problem. So that time it was a desperate throw because he had a short timer, because that time was so short that it wanted him to run the ball. So let's do this. Hold on. So if the QB timer is up, let's do a 80% chance he runs. Or you know what? Let's do this. So in that case, we just saw, that was one where I said, I want this dude to run as like almost like a design play, right? There's a sale right now. The game's on sale right now, 33% off if you want to get it. It's pretty cheap, actually. It won't be on sale for a while. It's on Steam right now. But if you buy it on Steam and it doesn't work, you can always return it, even though I hate returns because there are way too many returns for the game. It's crazy how many returns happen on games. But that's their policy. You want people to be happy. So what happened on that last one, guys, is the timer, that was a design run because the timer was set to a super low number. So we got to watch out. So right now it's 79. So it's not one of those design run plays. All right, so he was under pressure and run timer was so it's run timer, run wait. Okay, so that was one where the timer ran out, actually. This is where the timer ran out. And he decided to run it. See, that was just considered to be, yeah, that was considered to be a timer's done. Same with that one. When the timer hits, when the time expires, he's probably going to run it. He's going to run it based on his speed the way I have it right now. So he's going to run it 87% of the time. So we're going to see a lot of runs right now because his timer is so short. See, he keeps trying to run it. Huh. And I don't want to force him to the outside, like we were saying earlier, because I think the outside... See, he's getting sacked every time with this. Now, remember, we have it simulating right now where nobody's open. That's why we're seeing it so often, right? So we're simulating what happens when nobody's open and your timer expires. And because this guy's timer is pure trash, he's immediately wanting to run. So think about a bad QB that just wants to run all the time, right? I don't know what that was. Oh, that was one of those short design runs. Yeah, it's no target right now, so he can't find anybody. He's not able to throw the ball. So we got to keep that in mind. So he wants to run it every time, right? So I guess that's kind of where we're at, like with this. I mean, let me know if you guys have any questions or what you think we should do. But this is one of those cases where, like I said, this guy's a super. Now, if I were to switch, let's see if we got anybody else here. Even if I switch to a guy like this. Whoops. Wait a second. Oh, I can't change it because I'm not controlling the team. Hold on a second. Let's pick, like, if we pick a really good QB, and I'm picking the same defense because I want them to get pressure. So you're gonna see how a great QB, right? This guy is top notch, 93 skill, 99 IQ. Look at his run timer; it's at 144. He's got plenty of time, and even when he gets pressured, he threw a check down. That was actually a check down for him. So you're gonna see the other side of the coin here, and you're gonna see a really good QB. They're gonna check down most of the time. Now that time, hold on a second. That time, I don't know what happened. I guess he chose to run, maybe. That was one of those weird times where he chose to run, which is odd. Let's see how many times he tries to run it. Okay, he did it again. Hold on a second. So run discount, 1 second. Let's see what's going on here. So it's not up, 20% chance. Oh, his timer is up, and that's in that case. That's why. Yeah. See, I think the timer might need to be increased, to be honest, right now, because I feel like this is I know that we're not letting that. It's to be honest though, it's kind of hard for. Yeah. See, like he would have thrown it by now. So this is hard because it's treating it as if the timer expired, which it does. The timer does expire here. But I'm wondering if we need to set the timer a little bit higher. But like I said, the only thing that's kind of interesting about this is I'm just surprised he's not throwing it away. But I guess, like I said, because the timer's expired, he's not going to throw it away as often. I'm going to need to tweak this code. Hold on a second. Let me see. So if the timer's expired, he's going to run like 68% of the time because I think he was a 68 speed. Why don't we do, let's do this. Let's do, if time is not up. No, I don't need that. Hold on a second. I got an idea. Hold on. I know why this is happening. Hold on. I know exactly why this is happening. All right, let's try this. So what I did, I had code in here that was making him run more often than he should have. Wait a second. Yeah. So he's not going to run very often now. If time's up, if time is up and his speed, time is up and his speed makes him run. If they're under 80 speed, then I go through another thing and I check their IQ. And if their IQ, based on their IQ, it will determine whether or not they still want to run. Okay, let's see. This should be a different situation here. You know, that's why we're going to need some testing. We have time, guys. We have time to test this stuff, so don't panic. It might open an endless can of worms. I don't know. I mean, it just depends. I mean, I want to see more diversity when it comes to the QBs. So I think he's going to throw it 9 out of 10 times here. See, he checked down that time. That was a check down under pressure. See, he's tossing it because he's a really good QB. No, we're gonna make this work. I'm not worried about this. Isn't gonna open a can of worms. It's just not, because I think it's under wraps. The only thing is, like, there are gonna be times where something weird happens, but you want to see. I want to see fast QBs. I want to see their AI do something sometimes. I want to see them take off. I want to see them try to break pressure. I don't want sacks to be 0 every game, right? Now, Brady's not going to get sacked a lot, or Brandy, whatever this guy's name is, because he's a good QB. I mean, he's a 99 IQ, 93 skill, and he's not super fast. So he's going to try to get it off every time, as you see there. Now, if we go and we put in Vix, right, against the same situation, see what happens. Yeah, I want to see some randomness. I mean, that's what we see in the NFL. Like, we see, that's what you're going to get, Joe. Like, see, he's taken off right there because his speed is so good that it's like, I'm gone. Now, remember, this is when there's no, there's not a design run. That time he checked down. This guy's an 88 skill, 91 speed, 74 IQ, 73 greed, right? Remember, we're testing what happens when he gets under pressure. Or the timer runs out, one of the two, right? One of the two. Timer runs out or pressure, right? That time he got sacked because he tried to run it again. But you're going to see the throw timer, it's 101. If that goes to like 20 or 30, that's going to be a design run. I'm expecting him to run more than throw, but he's a good QB. And because he's a good QB and he has a good IQ, he's checking it down as well. See, this is still another. They're only gonna do a design run at the most like 8% of the time, right? So it's not very often. But we're gonna catch one here soon because you're gonna see this guy fly. So, view, a design run is based off of. It's kind of complicated, but see that time he got away. That's pretty cool. It's 8. The max you can get is 8%, and you have to be an 85 or above speed. So it takes your speed percentage. So like if you're a 99 speed, it'll be 99% of 8%. And that's what your RNG is, right? So it's basically the most you can get is an 8%. They're not design runs, Maryland, but the AI kind of is, because 8% of the time, that the way I have it set right now, I can make it whatever we think we want. But right now, the maximum, if you're the fastest player at 99 speed, you're going to basically get 8% of the time. You're going to be able to just run the ball like pretty quickly. And we haven't gotten it yet, though. I don't want it to happen all the time. You know, I don't want it to happen on every single throw. I almost want to bump it up just because I want to see it. And I want you to feel like you're playing against somebody who's fast, right? Like I want this guy to take off, and he will make some plays with his legs. Like he's been making a couple plays here when he's about to get sacked or his timer runs out. That's still going to be a possibility where he'll run based on his speed. Like this one, look, 44 seconds. I don't know why he did that so fast. Oh, he checked it. He wanted to check it down. I know why, because I made that change for Brady. See, this is the problem. So that time, the timer ran out, which it's supposed to run out quick because that's a design run, basically. It's a quicker run. You're not going to stay in the pocket back there too long. So he chose to run based off of his speed. He's an 87 speed, right? Yeah. Or 91 speed. So he's a 91 speed. He should have ran it that time. I mean, 91% of the time he should run it. So unless we caught the one time where he's not going to run it, because he checked down that time. Wait a second. Yeah, that must have been the one time where he's. So how often do you think they should do a quick run like that? That's what I want to know. We don't want it to happen all the time, right? We don't want it to be something that happens a lot of the time. But see, with this guy, he's only got 101 wait time, so he's going to run it here and there early. See, that's a good run. He got out of there. He can escape the pocket. That's why I want the run. And I've had this in the game for a long time, guys, but the problem is I never allowed them to run because there was code in there that wasn't really allowing them to run often. I mean, look at this guy's moves. This guy can break away from sacks. Yeah, I think 8% seems all right. We don't want this guy. I mean, how often do these guys run the ball with the QB? I mean, I could do 10%. You know, 10% of the time might be a better number. I think that what we're doing here is it's not going to be a huge problem with the game. I don't think it's going to break the game in a lot of ways. It's going to add a lot more diversity to the quarterbacks, right? That time he did a desperate throw. That was actually a random receiver. He didn't check down that time. I mean, there's two things, right? There's design runs and there's them running away from pressure, which that's going to happen. Running away from pressure is based off of what just happened there. The problem though is you better be pretty fast and pretty good to break away from pressure, because by the time your timer runs out, you probably have one guy or more gunning down on you. Like, see, look at that. He's got 4 guys on his back. So, you know, he's going to get sacked. But guess what? That's what running QBs do sometimes. They get sacked, you know? Like, they want to run the ball. I remember when Tyrod Taylor used to run the ball. I mean, quarterbacks like that, they're going to get sacked. Now, remember, this is also without them having an open receiver, right? If he had open receivers, which he'll have if he's a good QB, he'll get it off most of the time. I just want to see worst case scenario what this dude's going to do for testing purposes. So 8% then, you like that? We've only seen it one time this test round here. Yeah, no, we're not gonna see a ton. I think the changes I'm making right now are gonna be beneficial. I just toned down the running. I'm gonna push another beta build out when I'm done with this stream, because I did tone it down. Because even the design runs, that there's a good chance you can get sacked too, right? So we don't want that to be super high, right? I mean, if we want him to check down more often, see, that's the hard part. Yeah, that's the hard part. I think I'm gonna do something else here. Hold on. And let's see. Room speed. And wait a second. Then that's pressure. It's going to be, it is what it is, right? Yeah. But if timer is up, here's what we're going to do. var max run natural, no, design run equals all right, now I got it. So this time so I'm putting code in here that's going to determine when it's a design run, and if it is, then we want him to run every single time. If it's not, then I say we do it like 50% of the time based on their speed. Yeah. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to up this to 10% just for fun. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to do it at 100%. I want him to run every single time just to see what happens. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments here. Make them more likely in areas where design run has the greatest impact near the end zone. You wouldn't do it by percentage? Yeah, I know it's not the most sophisticated thing. That's not true though. If you have a fast QB like a Lamar Jackson, like a Josh Allen gets a lot of design run plays. They don't give a damn what the situation is in the game. They literally run it with him. I've seen them run it with Josh Allen on any occasion, any situation. The only time they wouldn't run it with him is if they didn't have the clock to do so. Like if they didn't have any timeouts or something. All right, so now I'm doing this bad guy and I'm making him run every time. So that's kind of a design run. Which is a, you know, well, that time he got 79. Oh, it's based on his speed, so it's not gonna it's gonna happen 87% of the time right now. Because his speed is what's determining it right now. Hold on. So it's not gonna happen every time. But this guy's not that fast. See, look, he's taking off. He got 1 yard. This guy's an 87 speed. See, I wish somebody would frickin' block. That was probably a screenplay. There's a lot that can obviously go into this AI, but I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm just trying to squeeze in. I feel like he runs to the right every single time, which is weird. Let's see if he goes left at all. There, he went left a little bit there. That was better. That was better. See, there you go. That's a good run right there. What I want to do is, let's see, drop back timer. Let's do this. Yeah. I mean, I might as well put it at 100% right now. Okay, so now I just changed it to where they're going to run as soon as they finish their drop back. Charlie, I'm not doing that, Charlie. I don't think we're gonna do that. We're just gonna let them run, like let them do their thing. Well, I have it right now where they're not gonna run until their drop back happens. This is weird. Hold on a second. Why is it so long? Whoa, wait a second. What? Oh, I see why that's happening. Hold on a second. Nah, we're not going to do it that way. We need to do it. What's making that happen? Hold on a second. I'll just do it this way. Never mind. Hold on. Let's try that. I want him to just take off a little bit earlier. That's all. Force Gump run mode. Let's see. I mean, listen, it's either we do this or we make these changes or we basically leave it the way it was and the guys will never run. There won't be any sacks. They'll never run and I don't want that. I prefer them to have some running. The kick meter, we did add a bend over. We did add a why did he take so long that time? Oh, it's not. He's not doing it every time now. He's doing it based off of his speed percentage. So 91% of the time he should be doing a design run here. Yeah. The kicking is a lot easier if you put it on easy. We have a setting now for that. So like if you go to difficulty kicking, if you put it on rookie, I guarantee you won't have a problem. It's very, very, very easy. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he wants to run. Kick assist? Which one's that? Oh, yeah. I forget what that does. I mean, I kind of don't mind them just running wherever they want because they should be smart enough to know where to run. You see, like, every time he runs, he's running a different direction. He's either running right up the gut or a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. But he wants to run up the gut because guys are being blocked. That's the secret here, I think. That was pretty good. Now remember, we're playing against a really, really good defense. So if we do that again with a really bad defense, let's see what happens here. See, matchups are all a big thing, right? So I don't think this D line is very good. Yeah, they're all in the 70s. So we should be able to get some yards. All right. Buffalo. God, I should have blocked him, man. There's no slide mechanic. QBs do fumble more. Although we're probably going to tone the fumbling down a little bit because they're going to be running more. There you go. There's their fumble. Right on cue. That's funny. But I'm trying not to make any crazy changes. I just got a little bug to do this today. And I'm just trying to see if this is going to be worthwhile to do it. But man, he's still getting beat up a lot, which I don't like that part. I don't know why he's running right into traffic. I don't get that part. Like I think what's happening is he sees blockers, but as soon as he goes towards them, they lose the block, and then all of a sudden he gets hit. I mean, that was a better one. Now remember, we just want to see this every once in a while. We're not trying to make this a major change. This isn't supposed to be like, oh wow, you play the game and now they run every time. You know, like I want to see that. I want to see a guy that's faster run like that. I want to see him get out of there and get away. That was a quick one. I think he's running a little bit too fast. So let's bump that up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to add in something with like the end of the game to not run it. I'll do that tomorrow. But this is really to give you guys an idea on the beta team. Like I said, I left this public so more people are going to see it. They're probably thinking, what the hell are we doing? But I wanted to show you guys what like just talk through some of this and answer any questions so we can get on the same page. I mean, I could, yeah, they're following their blockers to a fault. Yeah. So I increased the time. I increased the time before they start running just a little bit because I felt like he was running way too close to the line of scrimmage. So it buys us a little bit more time. Oh, I'm doing it against Washington. I don't want to do it against Washington. I want to do it against the worst defensive teams. Okay, I will. So what do you think we should do? 10% or 8% to run the ball like this? For based on your, like, what's the max percentage? What, 10? 8? Maybe 8. 8 sounds good. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get off. I want to show you guys what I wanted to show you guys what I was doing, and I'm gonna push a new build out there. If you guys, have any questions, at least you have more background on what we were doing here. But I'm gonna change this to 8%. Yeah, and then I just want to see what the game feels like. I want to see if it feels good. I do need to figure out. So think about that. Think about when we don't want to run like that. Like what parts of the game. And also with the whole allow sack thing, do we even want that anymore now? I don't know if we do. Yeah, let's do 25% there. If time's up, not design run and RNG. That's fine. All right, I'm going to make some changes and I'm going to push out a new build, but you guys know the deal, know how to reach me. And for those of you who are not in the part of the beta team, we are working on the port still. And these are just some changes that I wanted to make before we get out to console. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I know this was a very basic, live stream. You're welcome, Gerald. Yeah. I wasn't ready to do any kind of like crazy stream presentation, so it was going to be rough. So for those who came here wanted to see something great, it wasn't going to happen. All right, guys. I'm going to get off. Have a good one. Peace.